Hello guys! Welcome to the Code Crafter. Today, we will be learning C++. Let us begin now. First, we must make a file titled main CPP. Copy the code exactly. We are including the C++ input and output headers. This allows us to send output and receive input from the console. In C++, single-line comments are made using 2 forward slashes. When a C++ program begins, the main function is called. In C++, a function is defined by first specifying its return type, followed by the function's name. Let's make a basic Hello World program. In C++, namespace are used to prevent naming conflicts between variables, classes, and functions. The count object belongs to the std namespace, which stands for the standard library. We are about to build and run our C++ file. In a terminal, navigate to the directory in which main.cpp is located. Please make sure the GCC per G++ compiler is installed because we need to compile our C++ code. Run this command shown on the screen to compile your C++ code. Now an executable has been made with the name main. Run the executable using the command provided. Try to change the output to say something different. In C++, variables are declared by specifying their data type, followed by an identifier, the variable's name, and optionally, an initial value. This line of code declares a variable named x, specifies its data type as an integer, and initializes it with the value 23. This line of code declares a variable named y, specifies its data type as a floating point number, and initializes its value to 2.3. In C++, a string can be represented as an array of characters. The char type is a fundamental data type used to store a single character. This line of code declares a variable named z of type string and value hello. Output the value of x, then y, then z, followed by an endline. Std endline is a marker that requests the output to begin a new line. Earlier, in the Hello World program, you might have noticed a symbol after Hello World in the output. This is because we did not end with endline. In C++, it is quite messy to use the std prefix before any functions, variables, or objects. C++ provides us with uses namespace std to make code much tidier. There is no longer need to keep the std prefix anymore. Now, we will compile and run our program. The output begins with the integer variable x, initialized to 23, followed by the floating point variable y, initialized to 2.3, and finally the string variable z, initialized to hello. If you are enjoying the content, please consider subscribing. In C++, if a variable is declared as a constant using the const keyword, its value becomes immutable and cannot be modified after initialization. Constants prevent modification of a variable's value, enhancing code safety, readability, and maintainability. This code declares a variable with the name x, initializes its value to 23, and outputs the value of x. Now, the code initializes x as 23, modifies its value to 24, and then outputs 24. As expected, the output says 24. Let's add the const keyword to the variable declaration and recompile. The C++ compiler generates an error, as expected, because the program attempts to modify a const variable. If, for any reason, your program does not work as expected, you may drop a comment in the comments section below. We are about to learn how to perform basic arithmetic operations in C++. Declare the variables as indicated and include the lines containing cout statements exactly as shown. The asterisk is the C++ operator for multiplication. The plus is the C++ operator for addition, and the / is the operator for division. Next, we will compile and run our C++ program. The program's output is the result produced by executing the operations within the cout statements. We will now learn about comparison operators and Boolean values. Declare a variable of type bool. Declare two integers named x and y and initialize their values to 4. This line of code sets istru to true or false depending on whether x is equal to y. Modify the values of the variables we created to 4 and 3. Next, set istru's value dependent on whether x is equal to y. Finally, set the value of istru dependent upon whether x is greater than y. We are now ready to compile and run our program. The program correctly outputs 001, where 0 represents false and 1 represents true. Declare x and y. The cin object allows us to take input. Declare an integer variable named sum and set its value to the sum of x and y. Declare an integer input. Read a value from the user and store it in input. The if statement is a conditional construct that executes code based on a specified condition. If input equals sum, display a message. Now, we will compile, run, and test our program. The message prints only if the sum of the first two inputs equals the third. Thanks for watching C++ in 10 minutes. If you enjoyed our content, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thank you.